Welcome, listeners, to another My Mind MashUps deep dive where we unravel mysteries, spark curiosity, and make sense of complex ideas together. Now, if you share your life with a dog, you know those years just fly by way too quickly.
Oh, absolutely.
So today, we're tackling something that honestly felt like science fiction until very, very recently. Actually extending the healthy, happy years, the health span and lifespan of our dogs. We're going deep into the work of a biotech company called Loyal. Here's where it gets really interesting. Loyal did something monumental.
It really is.
The FDA's Center for Veterinary Medicine, the CVM, they actually accepted lifespan extension as a plausible regulated goal for a drug program.
Yeah, for any species ever. It's huge.
Right. They gave this nod for their large breed drug, LOY-001, back in 2023, and then again just this February 2025 for LOY-002, which is for senior dogs more generally.
And that validation, it's not just about dogs. It's a massive paradigm shift for the whole field of longevity medicine, what we call gerotherapeutics.
Yeah.
That FDA acceptance fundamentally changes the game. For the first time, a major regulator is saying, okay, aging isn't just this inevitable decline. It might actually be a definable, treatable condition.
Wow.
So our mission today is to really break down what Loyal is doing. We'll look at their three main drug candidates, their pipeline.
Okay.
Dig into their regulatory strategy, which is pretty aggressive, and also, importantly, look hard at the scientific risks. Because trying to hack aging, it's complex.
Yeah.
And hey, while you're here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy content that makes you think. We really appreciate it.
Okay, so let's unpack Loyal's basic idea. It's fundamentally different from how vets usually work, right? Normally you wait for arthritis or cancer or kidney disease, and then you treat that.
Exactly. You treat the symptom, the downstream effect.
But Loyal says, let's go upstream. Let's target aging itself, because that's the biggest risk factor for all those diseases combined.
Precisely. It's a preventative root cause approach.
And why dogs? Why focus there first?
Well, dogs are kind of perfect models for this. They live with us, they share our environment.
Right, the same exposures.
Yeah, and there's huge genetic diversity across breeds, which is useful. But crucially, their aging is compressed. A decade in a dog's life shows us changes that would take, half a century or more in humans.
So you get data much faster.
Much, much faster. It makes them powerful translational models for human longevity research, too.
Okay, so what are they actually targeting? You mentioned two pathways.
Yeah, they're focusing on two major molecular pathways known to be involved in aging across many species. They're not just taking shots in the dark. The first is something called the growth hormone insulin-like growth factor 1 axis. GHI-GF1 for short.
Okay.
That's their main strategy for the large and giant breed dogs. Think of GHI-GF1 as the body's main grow now signal.
Got it. And the second?
The second is a bit broader. It targets what's called age-associated metabolic dysfunction. This is more for the general population of senior dogs, aiming to combat that overall slowdown and wear and tear that comes with age.
Okay, let's tackle the big dogs first, because it's heartbreaking, right? Great Danes, Newfoundlands, they just don't live as long as, say, smaller terriers.
It's a well-known trade-off, sadly. Grow big fast, age fast.
And Loyal thinks this GHI-GF1 thing is the key, that big dogs basically have this growth signal stuck on high even after they're fully grown.
That's the hypothesis. Sustain high levels of GH and IGF-1 signaling, kind of keeping their metabolic engine revving too high for too long after skeletal maturity.
So LOY-001 and LOY-003 are designed for these bigger dogs, maybe 40 pounds and up.
Yeah, that's the target population.
And the goal is to bring those IGF-1 levels down, more like what you see in smaller, longer-lived breeds, sort of turning down the volume on that grow fast, age fast signal.
Exactly. It's about modulating that signal, not eliminating it, but bringing it into a healthier range for longevity.
And how do the drugs actually do that? I see one is an injection, one's a pill.
Right. LOY-001 is designed as a long-acting injectable. Your vet gives a shot every, say, 3 to 6 months. Simple for the owner.
Okay.
LOY-003 is the daily pill version. It uses a more specific mechanism, something called an SST2 agonist.
SST2 agonist. Sounds technical.
It is, but think of it like this. Instead of just generally lowering IGF-1 everywhere, this agonist targets the pituitary gland directly. It tells the pituitary to release less growth hormone. It then means the liver produces less IGF-1. It's a more precise way to dial down that specific pathway.
Interesting. So those two are for the big dog issue, but you said LOY-002 is the front runner, the one likely coming first.
That's the current projection, yes.
Yeah.
LOY-002 is aimed at that more universal problem. metabolic decline in older dogs generally. We're talking dogs maybe 10 years or older, maybe 14 pounds and up.
So not breed specific.
Not breed specific. It targets that age-related metabolic dysfunction, trying to kind of rescue or improve overall health and function as dogs get older.
And how does that work? What's the analogy there?
Well, the key insight, or maybe the benchmark, is caloric restriction.
Ah, CR, the gold standard in longevity research.
Absolutely. That famous 14-year study in Labradors?
Yeah.
It was incredible. They cut calories by just 25%.
And the dogs lived almost 2 years longer, right? Median lifespan up 15%.
Exactly. And they delayed diseases like arthritis significantly. It proved that metabolic state is profoundly linked to aging. LOI 002 is essentially trying to capture some of those systemic benefits of CR pharmacologically.
Like helping an older engine run smoother again, but without the strict diet.
That's a good way to put it. Without the potential downsides or difficulties of long-term CR.
And this is the drug that got that big FDA nod recently, the RXC.
Yes, LOI 002 received its reasonable expectation of effectiveness, or RXC, determination from the FDA CVM on February 26, 2025. LOI 001 got it earlier, in 2023.
So RXC, what does that practically mean? Is it like an approval?
Not full approval, no, but it's a very important step. It means the FDA looked at all the early data, the science behind the drug, how it works, the initial safety studies, and they said, okay, this looks plausible. The expectation that this could work is reasonable.
So it's like a green light to keep moving forward, maybe faster.
Exactly. It unlocks the pathway towards conditional approval, which is a faster way to get the drug to veterinarians and pets while collecting the final long-term proof.
Which makes sense because actually proving lifespan extension, that takes years, right? You have to wait for dogs to actually live longer.
Precisely. You can't wait 5, 10, 15 years for that data before even considering getting the drug out there.
So they use other measures in the meantime, health span metrics.
Right. For their big clinical trial, the STAY trial, they're looking at things that show the dog is healthier sooner.
Tell me about the STAY trial. I heard it's massive.
It's reportedly the largest veterinary clinical trial ever conducted. Fully enrolled now, over 1,300 dogs across more than 70 vet clinics nationwide. It's a huge undertaking.
Wow. Double-blind, placebo-controlled.
Yep, the gold standard design. And while the ultimate goal, the primary endpoint, is lifespan extension, they're using validated tools like the Canine Frailty Index, CFI,
Okay.
and health-related quality of life, HRQL, scores as key secondary endpoints to support that faster conditional approval. Can they show the dogs are less frail, more active, have a better quality of life now?
That makes sense. Show near-term benefits while waiting for the long-term proof.
That's where the regulatory pathway called CNAO comes in.
CNAA, Conditional New Animal Drug Application.
You got it. CNAA is the mechanism that lets Loyal potentially market LOI 002 and eventually the others for up to 5 years based on that initial RXE data and showing strong evidence on those health span metrics.
So they can sell it conditionally.
Conditionally, yes. They need annual renewals, and they must satisfy all the safety and manufacturing requirements, what's called CMC. And crucially, during that conditional period, they had to be actively collecting the data that will hopefully provide substantial evidence of effectiveness, or C. That's the final proof for full approval.
Okay, so RXC gets you to CNATA, conditional approval, and CNATA buys you time to get to C, full approval.
That's the roadmap. And Loyal's projections are pretty ambitious. Conditional approval for LOI 002, maybe around 2026, and LOI 0001003, perhaps a year later, around 2027.
That's really soon for something this groundbreaking.
It is. It shows the FDA is finding ways to support innovation in this space.
And it's interesting to compare Loyal's approach, which is proprietary, company-driven, with the big academic effort, the dog aging project.
Right, the DFP, they're doing fantastic work, very transparently. They're running the Triad trial, looking at rapamycin.
Which targets a different aging pathway, MTOR.
Exactly. Another major longevity pathway. DFP is non-commercial, more focused on fundamental long-term understanding. Their early pilot data on rapamycin also look promising, particularly for heart function in older dogs.
So different paths, different molecules, but kind of aiming at the same incredible goal.
Parallel efforts, which is great for the field overall.
Okay, quick pause here. If this deep dive is resonating with you, if you're finding this fascinating, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our future explorations. All right, let's put on our critical thinking hats. This all sounds amazing, almost too good to be true. But it's frontier science. What are the big hurdles, the scientific risks?
Yeah, we have to be realistic. Enthusiasm is great, but biology is complicated. A major concern, especially for the IGF-1 suppressors, LOY001 and 003, is the potential for trade-offs.
Meaning?
Well, IGF-1 isn't just about growth. It's also vital for ongoing tissue maintenance, repair, muscle synthesis, things you really need, especially when you're older.
So if you turn down the grow fast, age fast signal too much.
Have you also accidentally turned down the repair and maintain signal? The big scientific challenge is whether you can decouple those effects. Can you get the longevity benefit without causing problems like, say, sarcopenia, muscle wasting, or maybe impairing immune function?
That's a critical balance to strike.
Absolutely. Loyal needs to show their modulation is hitting that sweet spot, providing the benefit without significant functional downsides. That's a high bar.
Okay, what about LOY002, the one for all senior dogs? What's the risk there?
I think the biggest challenge for LOY002 is the sheer diversity of the dogs in the stay trial.
The breed heterogeneity.
Exactly. You've got over 1,300 dogs. Think about the genetic and metabolic differences between a 10-year-old Beagle and a 10-year-old Mastiff mix. It's vast.
So will the drug work equally well across all those different types of dogs?
That's the question. Can one metabolic modulator have a consistent enough effect across a diverse population to show a statistically significant benefit overall? There's a risk the effect gets diluted, or maybe it works great in some breeds, but not others.
Which could make getting that final C approval, the full green light, tricky within the 5-year seeing in a window.
It could, yes. They need to demonstrate a robust, broad benefit.
And then there's the practical side, the cost.
Right.
Developing these drugs isn't cheap. Loyal's raised, what, over $150 million?
At least. And that significant R&D investment usually translates into, well, a significant price tag for the final product.
Which raises the issue of access, right?
Definitely. If these drugs work, truly extend healthy lifespan, but they cost, say, hundreds of dollars a month, will they only be available to a small subset of dog owners?
Limiting the impact.
It limits the widespread benefit that seems to be the goal. It's a real concern. How do you balance the innovation cost with equitable access? Love to see how that plays out.
Yeah. So zooming out, why should everyone listening, even if they don't have a dog, care about this? What's the bigger picture for human health?
This is where it gets really exciting from a broader perspective. The pathways Loyal is targeting in dogs, the GHRGF1 axis. Metabolic regulators are absolutely central to human aging research too.
Like the research around metformin or NAD+ boosters?
Precisely. These are highly conserved mechanisms. What Loyal learns in dogs about safety, about dosing, about long-term effects of modulating these pathways provides incredibly valuable, rapid translational insights for us.
Data we couldn't easily get from human trials because they take so long.
Decades long, literally. So testing these interventions in dogs under regulated conditions acts as a powerful accelerator and a crucial validation step for potential human therapies down the line. Loyal's success, or even their challenges, will teach us a lot.
So where do we stand right now?
Okay, bottom line is, we have strong scientific plausibility for these approaches. We have that crucial regulatory validation from the FDA, the RXE, saying these programs are worth pursuing seriously. That's huge, but we don't have the definitive proof yet. We're waiting on the results from these large clinical trials, especially the stay trial, to show substantial evidence of effectiveness and long-term safety. The promise is there, the potential is enormous, but the final data isn't in.
It's an incredibly exciting time to be watching this space. Which leads me to a final thought for everyone listening. If science does crack this, if we can successfully and safely extend the healthy lives of our dogs, how does that change things? How does it alter the ethical, the emotional, maybe even the economic contract we have with these animals who share our lives so closely?
That's a profound question. More years together. What does that truly mean for us and for them?
Definitely something to mull over. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Drop them in the comments. Your perspective could genuinely shape where we go with our next deep dive. And please like, comment, and subscribe to hear more My Mind Mashups deep dives. Every click helps us keep exploring these complex ideas. You can find My Mind Mashups everywhere you listen. That's Amazon Music, Audible, Facebook, Pocket Casts, Spotify, TikTok, and YouTube. Thanks for tuning in.